Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the Atmos character of our world around us, as we do in every video of this channel. And today we will discuss very old problem, actually the problem that is as old as humanity. I mean the issue of young ones. To be more precise, I should say the issue that previous generations always complain on the following generations. A good example is one of the tablets from ancient Mesopotamia, Sumerian period, that father who was a writer, this was a very lucrative position in Sumerian administration, is complaining on his son because his son doesn't want to learn how to write on a clay tablets and how to do it properly to inherit the position after his father. And one of the advices the father is giving to his lazy and careless son lazy, careless and reckless son is that, son, you should search for the wisdom among the knowledge that was left to us by previous generations. You should ask for this knowledge, you should seek for it. Very wise advice and always valid. This is very universal advice, it will be valid in every generation. And it was always a common practice that older generations were saying that our times were better, we were working more, we were braver, we were really hard workers. Nowadays, young ones are really, in quotation, pussies. They do not know what life is about, they are lazy, they do not want to work, blah 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 blah, put what you want. And somehow humanity was growing in numbers, developing. Once it was a little bit turning back due to some events, but a few generations or some generations after, the progress was starting again, because after periods of prosperity, when people got spoiled, everything collapsed and people had to, the ones who survived, start from the very beginning. So the number of people was growing again. And I love this example from the great book by French historian founder the historical school of analysis, that when in the early Middle Ages number of people was growing, populations were becoming larger and larger, the contacts among people were becoming more and more frequent and longer. So especially wanderers like monks or scholars or simply even bandits or adventurers were just wandering from one place to another, and when the populations were growing, these contacts between different populations, thanks to these people mainly, were becoming more and more frequent. So these Brownian motions, if we regard these wandering people, these adventurers, monks, scholars, and whoever as particles, we can say that these were social Brownian motions, like in physics. I love this comparison from the book Feudal Society by Mark Bloch. When these Brownian motions were becoming more and more frequent, the ideas were flowing between one society to another, and the civilizational, together with technological progress, were taking place, and the civilization was progressing again. But why it happened? Mainly because the population was growing. Now what we experience, young ones are lower in numbers, because the populations, especially in developed countries, but not only, as I was saying in one of my previous videos, when I'm pointing that we are no longer in danger, and we were never in danger of overpopulation, but now we are really in danger of population collapse, rapid collapse, on a global scale. So younger generations are less and less numerous, and they are more and more spoiled because they don't have to struggle for resources, they don't have to put any effort to develop their skills to gain knowledge, and the contacts between them are less and less frequent because they are focusing only on the consumptionist lifestyle. Recently, these contacts, due to this all global paranoia that took place in last 2 years, these contacts between young people were even limited to larger extent, unfortunately. So there is not enough flow of ideas between people, and if older people dominate the society, older generations, then the uh, conservative in negative sense of this word, so uh, conservative approach to life, so the approach focus on preservation of this what we know, because as we know, people who are more advanced in age are um, inclining more into preserving this what we know, and maybe a little bit improving, but they are not so innovative as young people. So lower numbers of young people means less innovation, more preservation of this what we know, so much less progress in the future. That's why we should also be aware that there are two factors that guarantee technological and civilizational progress. Appropriate number of young people that needs to be produced each generation to have the previous generations properly replaced. The best will be with an excess, the larger the better. And young ones need to be educated properly. How to educate them properly? It's simple. What can we offer to young people? We can offer to them, because they have everything. They are educated as glossy people now who want to have only rights. How many rights can you have? But now, what can we offer to them to make them happy and more motivated to life? And to encourage them to produce in the future enough young people, so another generations in a proper numbers, to replace them and also to replace us. We need to promote the feeling of duty. We need to show them that working for yourself and also for others who need your help will give you satisfaction, will give you fulfillment, and will encourage you and the others around you to do more. We need to show them that one should work each day to become a better version of his or herself than the version of themselves from the previous day. So you should work on yourself to become a better version of yourself from the previous day. And we need to also gain knowledge. We need to also gain skills. It requires efforts. Efforts bring some difficulties that need to be overcome. Overcoming these difficulties bring us joy, gives the sense of existence, and motivates us to do more. So it's still interconnected with this what I told you, that it's working on yourself to become a better version of yourself from the previous day. So and another issue is what can help making young ones interested in their own history, in the history of humanity in general, in the history of their own societies, religious societies, national societies, local societies, to make them proud of their heritage also, and in a positive sense. This pride of our heritage will also encourage them to work on themselves to preserve it and to develop it further, to show them the value of the family, that family is a duty, it's a heavy work, but it's also rewarding when you see how your children are growing, how they can be shaped positively, and how they can also shape you, because it's mutual interaction. We should also show them how real work with nature, like agriculture, also shapes the character, allows you to know the law of the nature, that stupid ideologies like neo-Marxist ideologies or ideology of welfare state that you take your goods from nowhere actually brings you to unhappiness and distraction, because nature shows you that to get something first you have to put something in to get something out. Simple truths that are not known among the vast majority of young ones who are actually spoiled and educated by stupid neo-Marxist ideologies, especially in colleges and universities. And they never experience shortages of some goods they use every day. They don't know what's the real source of these goods and how they are produced and from what. So these are the things make young people aware that keeping our societies running requires everyday work of many people who have professional knowledge and work hard to keep things running, like sewer systems, like power plants and so on. And that it's not so easy, that this what we have, it's not given for granted. Someone needs to keep it running, and things like this. Also, we should, it's all interconnected, show the value of knowledge and the value of principal rules that were introduced to the societies, like marriage, like morality, like social rules, like law. Why were they introduced? In every civilization that lasted longer, and what was the purpose, and why this and not other regulations really work, why they survive the test of time, test of many centuries, test of many millennia. And this knowledge, practical knowledge about our work, how it functions, together with the knowledge about our heritage, history and society, plus heavy work to gain this knowledge and to gain some skills, also to work on our bodies, to be more fit physically and to be more numerous, just to increase the frequency of particles, human particles in quotation. I come back to this quotation from one of my favorite historian, Professor Mark Bloch, to increase the frequency of positive collisions in quotation between these particles that are undergoing the Brownian motions, that these human particles meet each other within these Brownian motions, that they interact, they travel, they move from one place to another and exchange ideas. These ideas in new place are actually germinating like seeds of the plant, giving new crops, new fruits, new solutions. Only then we can be happy as societies, of course thanks to heavy work and preserving also the remembrance about the past, and working on creating the progress and more knowledge to have better and more friendly future. So this is how I see. So first, show the challenges to young ones, show heavy work to young ones, and show what one can gain from overcoming the difficulties of everyday life. Not to be spoiled and actually resign from life because you have everything and you don't see sense of your everyday existence. This is how I see the solutions to our current problems. Quicker we implement them, the better. If we don't implement them in upcoming 10-20 years, we are done. Heroic age, here the quotation from famous book History Begins at Summer by Samuel Noah Kramer. Another heroic age is coming. Not many of us will survive, and we will start from the beginning. But this collapse will be complete, because when I look at the young ones, how I would say lower numbers of them we have, and how spoiled and disconnected with reality they are, I don't see the future in a positive color. All the best. I wish you nice day, and I convey the solution. Many people like me know the solution, try to implement it. Please try to implement it in your own surroundings, and our future will be better. And new heroic age will not come this time, or not so quickly. All the best, bye.